ass is extremely painful, but in my head, I try to maintain happiness just to try and move through it and not dwell on it.
I want to just skip it, but it's something that I have to do because it's dangerous at my size if you don't stay clean.
Few shows capture raw emotion like My 600-Pound Life. Behind every struggle, every tear, and every victory lies a story of pain, courage, and hope. These are the moments that broke our hearts, inspired millions, and reminded us what true strength looks like. Now we would be revisiting the most emotional moments ever seen on My 600-Pound Life. At just 37, Abby has been trapped in bed for over 7 relentless years, each day blurring into the next. He doesn't know his exact weight and refuses to guess, but he knows the truth every night when he closes his eyes. He's terrified he might not wake up. In that sea of fear, there's only one constant light: his wife, Brenda. She's his anchor, his strength, the reason he still fights. If there's even the smallest chance his life can change, Abby is ready to risk everything. And so his journey begins.
I like at the end of this tunnel, when I wake up, the first thing I have to do is bathe. It's extremely painful. It's the worst part of my day.
This is a life that's brutal to wake up to. Each morning, Abby opens his eyes to the same crushing weight, the same physical prison, the same helpless reality. Yet, there's Brenda, steadfast, loyal, loving beyond measure. She deserves a medal for her devotion. The tragedy is, Abby wasn't always this way. In his younger years, food wasn't even a priority. His appetite was small, his relationship with eating healthy. So what flipped the switch? What dragged him into this dangerous spiral? As it turns out, the answer is exactly what we feared: trauma, and plenty of it.
My metabolism will kick in. No, it didn't. It just stopped and kept on gaining weight. When I graduated from high school, I went to school in Florida to become a sound engineer.
Abby's childhood wasn't just lonely, it was marked by neglect. His parents were absent, leaving him with no structure, no rules, and no guidance. Food quickly became his comfort, his constant, his silent friend. But the heartbreak didn't truly hit until years later, when life seemed to be going right. With a ring in his pocket, ready to propose to his girlfriend, a horrific car crash shattered everything. The accident damaged his spinal cord, and in one devastating instant, his dream of walking into a new life turned into a nightmare he's never escaped.
They took me to an MRI machine and got the X-ray imaging they needed to find out what was going on. I had a problem with 3 discs. They were damaging the spinal cord.
In the blink of an eye, his future was ripped away. Brenda remembers that day vividly: the hospital smell, the doctor's grim words. He might never walk again. That's the kind of news that can break a man completely. But Abby refused to surrender his spirit. Even bedridden, he found ways to contribute, working a remote job to help support their home. His resilience is a quiet reminder that strength isn't only in muscles, it's in the will to keep going, even when life has taken almost everything else.
All I see is the wall in front of me, the walls right beside me,
¿Casa con queso?
and my wife that comes in and out. My only look for the outside world is TV or the phone.
Abby and Brenda embody what it means to be partners. She shops, cooks, cleans, and still finds time to laugh with him at the end of grueling days. But beneath the smiles lies a dangerous truth. Abby is running out of time. The clock is ticking louder every day, and unless something changes soon, there might not be a future to fight for. Love is powerful, but love alone can't undo the damage that's been done to his body. The urgency is real, and it's growing.
Trying and fix that, and it got fixed to a certain point, but since I've been in the bed so long.
Reality slams hard when Abby finally reaches out to Dr. Now. The verdict is brutal. He's been in bed for so long that his legs have forgotten how to stand. The shock on Dr. Now's face says it all, and that man isn't easily shaken. The first order of business? Physical therapy to test if there's still life in his legs. If they can't hold him, everything else is moot. It's a chilling moment that makes one thing clear: the fight for Abby's life is starting right now.
Should feel like work.
It
means
is
you're doing it right.
work.
Good. Yeah. It means you're doing it right. Ready? Come on. Go. Strong. Come on, bud. Good. I know the doctor was concerned to be able to wave off the possibility of the blood clots.
Then, hope. The physical therapist arrives, working his magic, coaxing movement where there's been none for years. To everyone's relief, Abby's legs respond. There's pain, yes, but also possibility. If he pushes through, there's a chance. And then, in an extraordinary move, Dr. Now shows up at Abby's house in person, a rare gesture that speaks volumes. But the moment turns serious fast. Abby's bed sores are infected. If they can't get that under control, the danger skyrockets. The line between recovery and tragedy has never been thinner.
Well, then you have a set place that you want to get to. But when it's just, yeah, we'll see how we do it for next time. That's not a goal. That's it's like nothing. So I feel like I'm doing.
The emotional strain is wearing Abby down. He admits he feels like he's floating through life with no goals, no progress. His motivation wavers, and then comes a sobering image. It takes over 5 grown adults to lift him from his bed. That's not just weight, that's a level of dependency that screams danger. Dr. Now knows time is running out and orders Abby to move closer to Houston for proper monitoring. And despite the challenges, it's impossible to ignore how far Abby has already come. His effort is nothing short of remarkable.
We need to do it to get everything straight down for you, okay? So at this point, I think we gotta do something to improve your condition. We gotta make some changes, okay?
No problem.
And then, the payoff. Abby checks into the hospital, and slowly, the tide begins to turn. For the first time in years, he feels something he thought was gone, hope. And then, the moment that changes everything. Abby loses 200 pounds, 200. That's the number Dr. Now was waiting for. No hesitation. He approves Abby for weight loss surgery on the spot. The first person Abby calls, Brenda, the woman who never left, who carried him through every storm. This isn't the end of his story, but this chapter is pure victory.
Abby's surgery went very well. That was probably one of the most challenging weight loss surgery that we have done for a while with this condition because of his functional paraplegia and lower extremities.
Octavia's weight isn't just a problem, it's a relentless predator stalking her every breath. Every moment of her existence is soaked in agony, regret, and a crushing sense of defeat. For over a year, her bed has been both her coffin and her cage, locking her away from life itself. She hasn't walked, hasn't stood, hasn't done the most basic human tasks. The pain claws at her from morning to night, without mercy or pause. The question burns, will she finally stand, or will this be the battle that claims her life?
And it's so bad that I haven't been able to get up for over a year now. So I've had to learn to live in a whole different way.
This reality isn't just sad, it's suffocating. Imagine never leaving your bed for over a year. No walks, no sunlight on your skin, no feeling of movement beneath your feet. That's Octavia's nightmare, and she's living it wide awake. Her roommate is her only lifeline, handling every need, feeding her, cleaning her, even carrying her emotional weight. It's not just exhausting, it's heartbreaking beyond measure. And still, Octavia lies there, silent, trapped in a body that feels more like a tomb than a home, watching the world carry on without her.
And had to come and get her out. So now we moved Octavia's bed to the living room because we didn't want it to be a situation where she needed help and couldn't get out.
Humiliation doesn't even begin to describe it. Not being able to walk is one thing, but losing the dignity of bathing yourself, using the bathroom. Octavia is forced to clean herself while lying in bed, her body screaming in agony with every movement. The pain in her back stabs deep whenever she tries to wash, making even small acts of self-care unbearable. It's a daily assault on her spirit, stripping away not just her independence, but her identity, leaving her in a state of constant, suffocating defeat.
But most of the time, all I can do is lay here in bed all day. And all I do is eat. You ready for breakfast? Yes, ma'am.
This part will rip you apart. Her roommate watches helplessly as Octavia shovels in food, knowing it's the very thing slowly killing her. But to Octavia, food isn't just food. It's her last thread of joy, the only thing she can still cling to. How do you tell someone you love to give up their final comfort? Her roommate is stuck in an impossible bind. Take it away and break her heart, or keep giving it and watch her die. Either way, the pain is unbearable.
My sister has 3 children, and I love being their aunt. And the only times I ever feel happy.
And then, just for a moment, light cuts through the darkness. Octavia's face changes when her sister's kids come to visit. They run to her, and for those brief moments, she isn't just a bedridden woman. She's an aunt, a loved one, a human being who matters. She shares her snacks with them, not just out of habit, but as a way to connect. For someone trapped in isolation, these visits aren't small. They're oxygen, proof that she's still part of the world, even if only in fleeting glimpses.
I worry about her a lot. So much so I know people would say, well, why do you bring her this stuff? Or
her sister lives in a constant tug of war between love and fear. She knows Octavia's eating is dangerous, deadly even, but she can't bear to take away the only joy her sister has left. Refusing her might just push her into someone else's hands, someone who will give it without thought. So she chooses the path of least resistance, keeping her sister happy in the short term while quietly drowning in guilt. Every bite Octavia takes feels like a countdown to disaster, and her sister knows it.
I was more than double the weight I was supposed to be at for my age, and that was a big shock. shot, but it didn't stop me.
Octavia's childhood wasn't just rough, it was a war zone. After her mother began dating an abusive man, little Octavia learned to survive by arming herself, hiding objects around the house to use as weapons. No child should have to live like that, constantly on alert, always preparing for the next attack. In that chaos, food became her shield, her comfort, her escape. It was the one thing she could hold on to when everything else was out of her control, a habit born from survival that never let her go.
She needed to leave him. So once again, my mom had to take care of me and my sister on her own. And it meant she'd have to start working long hours again to provide for us.
And then comes the horror that explains everything. After her mother finally left the abusive man, Octavia's life didn't improve. It plummeted. Left with a neighbor to watch her, she became a victim of repeated sexual abuse. He paid her $50 each time, as if her innocence had a price tag. She was a child. The damage carved into her soul by those moments is impossible to measure. That kind of trauma doesn't fade. It festers, driving her deeper into the one comfort she's always known: food.
I know my body's getting to a breaking point. I can feel it getting worse every day.
But then, hope. After years of sinking further into misery, Octavia decides she's had enough. She's ready to fight, to claw her way back to life. The decision to see Doctor Now isn't small, it's monumental, it's terrifying. She fears rejection, fears hearing she's beyond saving, but showing up is a declaration. She's not giving up without a fight. In that moment, despite everything, she isn't just a victim, she's a contender, standing at the edge of the most important battle of her life.
They've transported to Houston.
Okay.
But if you bring you down, you also gonna need some to move down here with you. Because you're gonna need some support system because you're not mobile and you won't be able to handle everything by yourself.
Right.
At her first meeting with Dr. Now, Octavia's nerves are practically radiating off her. This is the moment that could rewrite her entire future. But she keeps her composure, listening carefully as he lays it all out. He'll arrange her transport to Texas, but only if she brings someone who won't feed into her destructive habits. It's more than a rule, it's a lifeline. For Octavia, it's a clear sign. The people around her will either save her or bury her, and she must choose wisely.
Trip safer, but it seems she had taken this upon herself to do it her own way.
Dr. Now's concern is written across his face. This isn't a standard case. This is a woman who's been trapped in bed for over a year, her body dangerously weak. The journey ahead could kill her if she's not ready. Has she lost enough weight to survive the trip? Is she truly committed? These are the questions no one says out loud, but everyone is thinking. The stakes are brutal. One misstep, one moment of doubt, and this could all end in tragedy.
But after we do that, then you need to show me that you're willing to work hard like you need at home. So it's important for your friend to...
Octavia hears him loud and clear. This is her moment of truth. Dr. Now demands 50 pounds gone in just 1 month. No excuses, no second chances. It's not just a goal, it's a test of her will, her grit, her willingness to suffer now to save herself later. She's standing at the edge of a cliff, staring down at what could be her future. One wrong move, and it's over. One right move, and she changes everything. The pressure is suffocating and thrilling.
I've been in the rehab facility for almost a month, and I've been working hard to do all my exercises. I use a pole with weights on it.
2 months later, the fight is paying off. Octavia isn't perfect, but she's moving forward inch by inch. She can sit in a wheelchair now, something that felt like fantasy not long ago. The progress might seem small to outsiders, but for her, it's monumental. Every shift of her weight, every moment she's upright, feels like a victory over the prison her body has become. She's starting to believe in herself again, and that belief is worth more than any number on the scale.
Okay, you're down to 584. That's weight loss of 108 pounds. All right.
Dr. Now can't hide his satisfaction. She's lost an astounding 103 pounds. That's not luck, that's work. He sends her home with a promise. If she keeps pushing, if she can stand on her own 2 feet, he'll approve her for surgery. For Octavia, that's more than motivation. It's the light at the end of a tunnel she thought had no exit. She's closer than she's ever been, and now the finish line is finally in sight.
Bianca Hagen.
When I left rehab, I had made it down to 584. And Dr. Now said I had to lose 50 pounds this month.
But then, the gut punch. She returns to the hospital for a follow-up, and instead of more loss, the scale shows a gain. The shock is instant, the disappointment sharp. Dr. Now's face says it all. He's not happy. For someone who's fought so hard, this feels like betrayal, a crack in the foundation she's been building. The risk of slipping back is real, and if she doesn't stop it now, all her effort could collapse in an instant.
And I realized that I have always been the backbone for everyone, but I can't be that for myself.
Thankfully, the storm passes quickly. After talking with Dr. Now, Octavia's head clears. The fear lifts and the determination returns. She tightens her diet, pushes herself harder, and keeps her eyes locked on the prize, surgery. Her voice carries a fire it hasn't had in years. She's been through abuse, humiliation, and near total loss of independence, but she's still here, still fighting. If there's any justice in this world, all her pain will pay off. She's earned the right to win this war.
I'm all smiles. The meal prep, everything went well, and we're sticking to it.
All right.
David's story doesn't just hit hard, it crashes into you like a freight train. For him, food isn't simply a craving. It's the only reason he drags himself out of bed each day. His weight has climbed to a mind-bending level, making even simple tasks an ordeal. He gets wedged trying to squeeze out of his car, and the shower, that's his personal hell. Each drop of water feels like a weight he can't bear. He's drowning in his own body. Only Dr. Now can throw him a lifeline, if it's not already too late.
It started getting so bad. I'm in agonizing pain. That's when my weight really been taking its toll. I take muscle relaxers for my back and then heavy prescription pain pills.
Watching David get out of bed is like watching someone fight through quicksand. Slow, exhausting, and painful to witness. Every move looks like it costs him more than he can spare. There's a moment where you wonder if he'll even make it to his feet. Without the one person who helps him with everything, meals, hygiene, basic survival, he'd be completely lost. He recalls falling once and having to drag himself back up alone. That's not just frightening. It's the kind of moment that shakes you to your core.
Eat as much as I could when a meal was given to me, because sometimes you wouldn't know you're gonna get fed again for days.
David's love affair with food isn't random. It's rooted in pain. Foster care was supposed to protect him, but instead, it handed him abuse and neglect. Love was replaced with beatings, and food became his only source of comfort. Never knowing when the next meal would come, he binged every chance he got, often to the point of being kicked out of homes. Then came Robin, a foster mom who cared, helped him lose weight, made him feel human, but college unraveled it all. Parties, drinking, bad habits, and before long, he was back where he started.
I wanted to see the United States, and I could afford to because when I was sleeping in my semi-truck, I didn't have to pay rent, so I got to see all the states. I didn't leave the road for a year.
This is where David's journey takes a darker turn. The depression hit so brutally that he admitted there were times he just wanted it all to end. He felt trapped in his body like a prisoner without a key. His diet, a complete disaster. Fast food, sugar, and empty calories piled on daily. He can't take 5 steps without gasping for air. It's soul-crushing to watch. Deep down, you know if his mom could help him fix that toxic relationship with food, he might just have a fighting chance.
At this weight, nothing's easy, besides laying down. Even sitting sometimes gets painful. My food problem is killing me by, weighing down my heart.
At least now, the danger is undeniable. David sleeps with an oxygen machine because his breathing has become so compromised. Every night he fears closing his eyes and not waking up. That kind of fear changes you. Finally, it's time to see Dr. Now. But just when you think you've seen the worst, David gets stuck in his car on the way there. It's one of those moments that's tragic and absurd at the same time. You laugh, then instantly feel awful for it. The reality of his struggle is no joke.
Try that. It's gotta help.
David?
It's been a little while since I weighed myself, and I know I've gotten worse since then. I just hope that I'm in the 600s.
Then, boom, the scale reads 763 pounds. The number smacks him like a slap in the face. He'd been clinging to the hope that he was under 600, but the truth is far harsher. This isn't just bad, it's critical. Dr. Now doesn't sugarcoat it. Lose 80 pounds in 2 months, or surgery is off the table. This is his line in the sand, the moment that will decide whether David climbs out of this hole or sinks deeper. Can he do it? That's the million-dollar question.
Well, I'm glad you got to where you needed to be mentally to start making the changes you need. So that's good. And I'm glad you lost 67 pounds.
Thanks,
but
man.
That's a starting point.
David gives it everything he's got. He pushes, he fights, he claws his way toward that number, but falls just a few pounds short. It's not the win he wanted, but it's not a total loss either. Dr. Now sees the effort and offers one last chance. Move to Houston, lose 30 pounds in a month, and the surgery is his. This time, David rises to the challenge. The progress is showing, and for the first time, hope feels real. He's close, so close, to finally hitting his goal.
The last time, hopefully I can still get the surgery.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. What if they postpone it?
And I guess I'll just have to get back on track and lose the weight.
Yeah?
Yep.
And then, disaster. Just when it seemed like the tide was turning, David slips back. The scale doesn't lie. He's gained weight. Dr. Now doesn't hesitate. Surgery is canceled. The devastation on David's face is gut-wrenching. He had it within reach, and now it's gone. The disappointment is heavy, but there's still a spark left. Maybe, just maybe, this isn't the final chapter. The heartbreak is real, but so is the possibility of redemption, if he can find the strength to try again.
Have a seat right over there.
All right. Okay. Oh, man, what? What's up, Doc?
I'm glad you made it. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
At this point, Dr. Now knows the real battle isn't just with David's body, it's in his mind. So he sends him to therapy, a last-ditch effort to dig through years of buried pain. And David, he's carrying more than most people could imagine. If therapy can loosen those chains, maybe, just maybe, he'll finally be able to fight for his life in the way he's always wanted. The question now is whether it's enough to tip the scale in his favor for good.
And because of your progress, I'm gonna give you an easy goal this time. This time I want you to lose 45 pounds in 2 months. And if you do that, I'm gonna approve you for weight loss surgery.